I was recently asked by a young guitar player, what is the value of learning music, or I should say music theory, versus just simply learning how to play by ear? And I thought about this for a while. So, like most guitarists, I learned to play primarily by ear. Subsequent to that, I'm pretty analytical, and I like to think of myself as a cranium person, although I'm very creative, as somebody who wanted to learn music theory. So I didn't learn music theory till I was in grad school. I learned through the Mel Bay books, and I got heavy into that. I didn't go to Berkeley. I live in Massachusetts. I went to a lot of different seminars, bought a lot of books on jazz theory, on classical theory, and it didn't confuse me. It actually made me a better player. But at the end of the day, I started thinking, if I had the choice of playing by ear or playing via music theory, what would I choose? And, the reality of it is that there's absolutely nobody who ever plays truly by music theory. All of the great musicians who have been trained in the conservatories and have been trained in schools like Berkeley, North Texas State, Juilliard, the great ones all have what I call musicality. And musicality to me is where you forget the theory you learned and your emotion takes over. And what you are playing affects the human soul. There is nothing you can put on the staff. There is no scale, no mode, no discussion about, what chord should I substitute over this, 2-5-1 chord progression. People do not care about that when they are listening to the music and when they are impacted by the music. Now, we as musicians should be proficient in the art and should understand it because it's a universal language. If you know how to read music, you know how to write music, you have some level of understanding about the language in and of itself, then that's going to help you. And I think it's going to help you just in terms of writing out the music, explaining to somebody a concept. So when you say 2-5-1 and you're saying that that's the key of C, that's a D minor 7, G dominant 7, resolves to the C major 7. So in my mind, I see it and I know it. Or the other way would be if I had my guitar, I would demonstrate it. So it's just a language. That's the way you think about it. But the same could be said about just jamming with people and playing over chords. But a lot of times you'll turn to a guitarist and say, "Oh, what were you playing?" They say, "Let me show you this." They don't have the facility, nor do they have the music knowledge to explain that to you. That never happens with other instrumentalists. So the value of playing, I should say, of learning music as opposed to just simply playing by ear, is the ability to communicate to a certain extent on paper, verbally, without even using your instrument, what exactly you are playing. And it's perhaps most useful within a collaborative, sort of like ensemble type playing. But the other value of learning music to me is the ability to be able to pick up a sheet of music from, if you live in America or you only know English and some Russian composer wrote something, if you learn to read music, you can look it up and then, play it. So it facilitates that. The argument can be made that you can do that if you have a great set of ears. Well, not everybody has a great set of ears. Some people need to visualize it and see it. So there's this whole notion, say, okay, if you need to visualize it, tabs are way easier. No, they're not. I'm telling you this. Playing via tabs, it's helpful, but it is not easier than learning to read music. If you learn to read music and you learn where to put your fingers on the notes, you learn a little bit about position playing, it's far easier than reading via tab. So I guess in conclusion, sorry about this long video about the rant, usually I'm just playing guitar, is that it is very important to learn to read music, specifically to sight read, even if you're not good at it. Okay?